Hi, my name is Sophia Sun, and I am presenting at the ICDM 2025 Undergraduate and High School Symposium our research on interpretable feature mining for AI product design.
Are bigger than ever currently, and visual design is definitely one of the #1 factors that drive consumer decisions in these markets. The issue is that human design processes are pretty slow, costly, and inconsistent, and with new developments in generative AI, we've seen its ability to create high-quality, fast designs. The issue is that there are a lot of gaps in our understanding of how that can effectively be applied in product design. So our research investigated 3 core questions. The first was, can generative AI match or exceed human designs across multiple conceptual value dimensions? The second was how prompt structure can influence large-scale outputs. And the third was, what interpretable visual attributes can explain the differences we see between human and AI-generated designs? Okay, so beginning with an overview of our data set. We came from a big data set of 4,400 human design ebook covers spanning 20 genres, and each book we had associated metadata, and out of all the data we had, we focused on 3 key components, which was title, keywords, and synopsis. From these data points, we created 4 different structures for prompts. The first was title plus caption, the second was title plus keywords, the third, title and synopsis, and the fourth, title plus all of the above. In the end, we outputted 17,600 AI-generated covers, and combined with the original 4,400 human designed ones, we studied 22,000 book covers. So moving on into more of our framework or pipeline for this research, it started with the generation module, which I kind of covered in the previous slide, really just taking those prompt structures and inputting it into GPT-4 Vision to create 4 cover variants per title. And then after that, inputting all of those outputs into the valuation model, where we had 2 different forms of valuation. The first one was an AI rater, where we would let GPT-4o rate all of our covers across 5 value dimensions from a scale of 0 to 10. And we also had 109 human raters do the same thing. Finally, sort of moving into more interpreting our results, we extracted 22 visual features from all of our covers, and we also conducted principal component analysis on extracted embeddings from all of the covers. Kind of doing a little bit more of a deep dive into the dimensions we used, we took our 5 evaluation dimensions from perceived value theory, which is a very common framework in marketing and decision making context. You can see we used functional, clarity, social, price perception, and behavioral intention. Okay, so moving on into our results. The first one, and probably our main one, was the fact that we saw that AI-generated designs outperformed human designs across all 5 value dimensions in the evaluations for both human and AI evaluating. We saw the largest gaps in this evaluation in how people perceived the functional and emotional appeal of the covers. And we also did see that within the human evaluations, there was greater variance in how the evaluators felt about it, while AI evaluation was more stable in consistently saying that the AI-generated designs is better. And then moving on into our second result, which was the impact of prompt structure and strategy behind the actual outputs. So as you can kind of see in this table, and I highlighted the best performing ones down each column, different prompts will have different outputs, and those outputs will result in different evaluations. So we saw that title plus keywords would produce ones that had really good scores in like emotional and social, and then title and synopsis would produce outputs that scored really well in functional and perceived value. So basically the whole conclusion of this was just that prompt engineering can be like a controllable design lever on the human side when doing this generation. And then finally, moving into our interpretable features. So as I said earlier, we did extract 22 interpretable visual features across 9 categories from all of our covers, but the bigger point of doing that was to kind of see what exactly made those AI designs outperform the human ones, at least for evaluators. So we performed regression of the ratings on our visual features, and that revealed many statistically significant relationships. There's kind of a summary up there, but off the top of my head, more specific would be like increased brightness had really positive predictions for how evaluators perceive the emotional and social appeal, or lower edge density was also related to improved social appeal. And yeah, this was consistent across both like human and AI evaluators. And then a small side note was that from the PCA analysis we did, which I didn't really touch on extensively, but basically that just showed that the AI designs were more consistent. So not only are the AI designs, I guess, better in terms of the value qualities, they're also like consistently better. Okay, so in terms of implications, we viewed this through two different lenses. The first was for design and marketing context, where we found that obviously AI can rapidly produce professional quality covers that meet or exceed the human design ones. And then also prompt engineering can align outputs with specific brand goals. And then through a more research lens, we found that interpretable and generalizable features can explain why AI works better, and that can lead us to help generalize this framework for any visual product design. And then finally, going to our takeaways and future directions we might take this. Takeaways, the first three I've talked about a lot already. The fourth one is just that we have found that AI is scalable and controllable in design, which is really important for large scale product design. And the last one is that we do see human AI workflows as being really prevalent in the future of product designs and industry. And in terms of future work, obviously we only study book covers, so extending it to other products, extending it to other languages and cultures, and evaluating other generative models besides just GPT vision, and then also exploring more robust prompt structures besides just the really basic ones constructed with the metadata. And yeah, students, thank you for listening.